Good morning, good afternoon, hello again, everybody. Hope everybody's doing all right. The weather's going to be great today. Warm, I guess, not sunny, but very nice, so go outside and play. Yesterday, we ended with the graduation party, right? Stella was at the party with Jenny for her cousin, I think Michelle, and all the kids were embarrassed at the end there when their parents were singing silly karaoke songs together. So we're on to chapter 6. Today, we're going to do chapter 6 and 7. The chapters are getting a little bit longer. This chapter 6 starts with Stella sending an email to Stanley. Dear Stanley, I can't wait to my summer camp. I hope I get to feed the penguins at least once. I'm really hoping they will give me one too, but I don't think that's realistic. I also looked into the Marine Mammal Center where Michelle is going to volunteer, and guess what I learned? The animals in the ocean are in danger. There are sea lions that get injured by boats or wrapped up in fishing nets. Thankfully, some of them get rescued and go to the mammal center to be rehabilitated. But still, this is a real problem. I wish there was something I could do right now to prevent it. I'm contemplating something else to write to Stanley when Mom comes home from work. Where's your hermano? She says, looking annoyed for a second. I'm not supposed to be on the computer alone, and I flash a guilty smile. He's in his room. He was with me, but then he got a phone call. I'm about to finish my email. The phone call that Nick got was a little strange. When I picked up the phone, I heard a person's voice I didn't recognize. It sounded like a girl. She also asked for Nicholas, not Nick. Ni modo. Mom flips her hand and leans in. I can tell you the good news first. It must be enormously good. Her face can hardly contain her excitement. Pack your maletas, we're going to Mexico, Mom says in a sing-songy voice. I scream. We've only been back to Mexico once since we moved here, but I was 4 years old and I barely remember anything. Really? Really? I'm going to go pack my bags right now. I dash toward my room. I'm waving my arms around, chanting, Mexico, Mexico, Mexico. Calmate, Stella. Let's eat some dinner and then you can start packing. I stop mid-run and pause and I ask, can I at least start making a list? She walks over to me and kisses the top of my head. Claro que sí. Let's go tell your brother. Nick's reaction to the fabulous news, as usual, is a little more reserved than mine. He says, cool. Well, we think it's very cool, too. She puts her hands on her hips. Super cool, I say, throwing my arms around him. Nick groans, ugh, but I let go. What's wrong? Mom says. What about my job? He replies. Oh, it's only a few days, Niño, Mom sighs. You won't be missing much work, and it's important to visit family. I guess so, he replies, crossing his arms and muttering. Nobody ever checks with me first what I want to do. Mom looks a little upset. I'm sorry that I didn't check with you first about going on a fabulous vacation. Nick looks a little embarrassed. I'll let the pizzeria know. It shouldn't be a problem. Mom grabs my hand. Vamanos, niñita. Let's make dinner and our list of things to pack. Mom makes arroz con frijoles for dinner. While rice and beans doesn't sound extraordinary, it simply is. It also takes a long time to make. Mom picks up one of the beans that she has been soaking overnight and pinches it. The single frijole melts like butter in her hand. Perfecto, she says. She then grabs a yellow box from the cabinet and laughs. Mom's holding the Knorr Kitchen Seasons box. The box is labeled both in English and Spanish. Remember when you used to call this chicken de pollo? She says. I turn roja. I basically was calling it chicken of chicken. To be fair, those are the two biggest words on the box. Mom sees my reaction. Oh, don't be embarrassed, mi amor. It was adorable. Whenever Mom pokes fun at my Spanish, it usually never bothers me. This time, though, it reminds me that I don't speak español muy bien. But we're going to Mexico soon. Mom, see, Stella, do you think we can read one of those Spanish books Maria gave me tonight? My tia Maria is constantly giving me picture books to practice my Spanish. Sometimes I try reading them out loud, but I usually give up after a page. My head starts hurting from having to think about what every word and every letter sounds like. Plus, I get confused if I'm pronouncing the way I should in English or Spanish. The problem is the letters are similar, but the way you pronounce some of the letters is very different. On top of that, my tongue feels heavy in my mouth, like it's swollen up and I can't move it right. Even if I make it through a few pages, I usually want to take a siesta afterward from thinking too much. But if we're going to Mexico, I better try un poquito. I know what I have to do. And actually, I forgot to show you a picture back here. Here's Stella working on her laptop, sending an email to Stanley. Sorry about that, everybody. And Mom, I notice my voice sounds higher pitched than usual. Si, Stella, she replies as she dices up garlic. Can you only speak in Spanish too, just for a little bit? Solamente español, si. I don't know what that means. Since Mom's hands are busy, she kisses the top of my head. Hearing Mom speak Spanish makes me less nervous about Mexico. Like usual, I can understand everything she is saying. If I can understand her, then I should be okay. As she continues to cook, Mom names the things we need to pack in Espanol. Traje de baño, she says. I write down swimsuit. Zapatos, I write down shoes. Cepilla de dientes, I write down toothbrush. Calzones, I giggle and write down underwear. We continue with our list until dinner is ready. Nick emerges from his room to join us. At the table, Mom switches back to speaking mostly English by accident, and I don't stop her. I feel tired from listening to each and every word so carefully. As we dig in, Nick begins to ask questions about the trip. When are we going? Mom wipes her mouth with a napkin. Very soon. We're going to celebrate your birthday there. That's in 2 weeks, I exclaim, dropping my fork. And when we get back, it's my summer camp. Mom smiles. Yes, the timing was perfect. The Aeromexico plane tickets were on special for those dates, so I can take off from work and you don't have to miss any camp. It's perfecto. Nick sulks a little. It's not perfect for me, though. Then he adds, what about my birthday party with my friends? Te prometo, as soon as we get back, you can do something fun with your friends, Mom replies. She looks a little more disappointed that Nick isn't that excited. I guess. Well, are we going to Mexico City at least? He replies, staring at his plate of food. Mom furrows her eyebrows at Nick. Not this time. We're going to stay with Tia Maria in, Oaxaca? I don't know, Oaxaca? She has that big house that we can all stay in and have never been to. We might be able to go to the beach too. The ocean, I squeal. I look over at Nick. He is pushing around the rice and beans with his fork. I'm going to write down that place so we can look it up later. Oaxaca. Nick should be excited about the beach. The only beach we have in Chicago is on Lake Michigan, and it's too cold to swim there most of the year. Believe it or not, I've never set foot on an ocean beach. This is great for her. She loves marine animals. I know it's going to be a life-changing experience. That's what Jacques Cousteau and Sylvia Earle both said about their first experiences in the ocean. Any more questions? Mom asks, looking warily at Nick. Then I think of a good one. Who's going to take care of Pancho, I ask. I'll ask Linda. If she can, I'll take him to the office. Everyone will love him. Then it occurs to me that I might still have another problem. How will I write to Stanley? We will have email there, but I also was thinking, what if you write letters, like pen pals? I'm intrigued, but that does seem like a lot of work. Plus, letters can take days to get somewhere. When we press send on the computer, Stanley receives my email right away like magic. Mom can tell just by looking at me that I'm not sold on it. Writing letters es muy divertido. You can include drawings and you won't have to worry about using my email or waiting to use the computer. Mom makes a very eager expression. I'm a little more convinced, actually. Stanley does like my drawings. Did you know I had a pen pal with a girl from London when I was a teenager, says Mom. Really, I reply. Do you know how exciting it was to get a letter from another country? My eyes grow wide. I bet Stanley will freak out if he gets a letter from Mexico and thinks I'm having the best summer. All right, I'll do it. Mom looks relieved. I think she may not want me using her email as much. The 3 emails this week might have been too many. Now I say, let's get back to our things to pack list. I write down pen and paper and think about all the adventures I'll be writing to Stanley. Now we're moving on to chapter 7. 2 more turtles. The next morning, I write my first handwritten letter to Stanley asking if he wants to be pen pals this summer. I make sure to include my address. I suspect he knows where I live since we've ridden bikes together, but better to be safe than sorry. You're not going to include anything about Mexico? Asked Nick. He's standing by the kitchen counter snacking again. He's already finished a bowl of cereal. Now he's carefully unwrapping individual cheese slices and stuffing them into his mouth one at a time. Mom says teenagers need to eat often because their bodies are growing fast, but I think he must be growing extra fast by the amount he eats. I think I want to keep the trip a secret. I'm sure he'll flip out once he finds out. Ooh, pretty sneaky, sis, says Nick, and he taps my forehead. Nick, can you tell me about Mexico again? Why do you want to hear it from me? You'll see it soon enough. He looks annoyed. I don't know why Nick is so moody now. When we were younger, Nick used to love to tell me stories about our abuelo's house and playing in Chapultepec. I missed his long stories about the park full of palm trees and a castle. Fine, I'll ask Dad, I reply, pouting. He remembers more than you anyway. Whatever, says Nick, walking away with another cheese slice in his hand. Dad lives in Colorado and usually calls once a week. My parents divorced when I was 5. He's not always the best dad. Like sometimes he forgets to call or makes promises that he doesn't keep. But he's not all that bad, and I know he tries the best he can. This week, fortunately, he remembers to call. That's great, too, because I have many questions to ask him about Mexico, like the weather, what our old house was like, and of course, Oaxaca, that place again. I will put that the name of that city in the description, and we can all look that one up together. When I finally tell him about our trip, he replies, "Que bueno! You're going to love Oaxaca, Stella. Is there anything I should do while I'm down there, Papa? You should eat chapulines or chapulines." "What are those?" "I won't tell you." Then he adds, "It will be una rico sorpresa." I'm cautious. Dad's surprises aren't always as great as Mom's surprises. They are usually a little disappointing, more than anything. Like the time he surprised us by introducing us to his new girlfriend. But I'm willing to give it a try. The remaining days till our vacation zoom by, and before I know it, we're heading on our trip. I make sure to pack my ocean books, journals, drawing materials, and sunscreen. I try to jam more books into my backpack before the taxi arrives. "We're only going for 5 days, Niña," says Mom. "I just want to make sure I'm ready for my first ocean experience. It's my job as a future shed aquarium camper." Mom laughs. "Okay, one more book." Nick rolls his eyes, and I give him a hard stare. On the taxi ride to O'Hare Airport, I double-check my to-do list. Only 2 items remain: Stanley's address, passports. I put check marks next to both. Stanley's dad emailed Mom their address yesterday, and Mom triple-checked our passports. I asked Mom if I can hold the passports in the taxi, but she says they are much too important. Mom lets me look at them instead. On the front it says, Estados Unidos Mexicanos. As I touch the lovely green cover, I wonder about the United States. "Mom, how many states are there in Mexico?" 31 and 1 federal district. Mexico City is like Washington, D.C. I never knew that. Where is it? It's its own tiny little state. That's why we used to call it DF, Distrito Federal. But it recently changed. Now we just call it La Ciudad de Mexico. Suddenly I feel butterflies in my stomach. Even though Mexico is my home, I realize there is so much I don't know about it. Once we're on the airplane, my butterflies double in size. And when I hear the overhead announcements in Spanish, everything is only going to be in Espanol, I think, I breathe a sigh of relief when they repeat everything in English. "Whoa, there's a TV in the seat," says Nick, elbowing me. It's the most excited I've seen him all morning. "See, there's a documentary on the oceans and some animated movies," he says, and then he hands me a pair of headphones. I clap my hands with joy. My nerves are completely gone once the snacks are served on the flight. They serve us these packages of zesty cacahuetes japoneses? I don't know. I don't quite understand why a Mexican airline hands out Japanese peanuts as a snack, but I'm not complaining. They are crunchy, salty, and superb. When the flight attendant checks on us, I try practicing my Spanish. I want to ask her when the flight lands, but it doesn't go too well. She speaks so quickly, I can barely understand her. I think I heard the word agua, but I'm not sure, and I turn roja. "Do you want some water?" she asks again, this time in Spanish. I reply softly, "Sí, por favor." I look at Mom. My stomach is feeling a little uneasy again. How come I can always understand you? It's okay, Stelita. There are some people I can't understand in Spanish either. Really? Don't get me started, she replies, laughing. I tilt my head at her in confusion. It's complicated. There are many Spanish-speaking countries, and each country has its own unique words. Like in Spain, they call a pen a bolígrafo, but in Mexico, we call it a pluma. If I'm speaking with someone from Chile, for example, and they use words that I'm not familiar with, I can get confused. It happens to all of us. Hearing that Mom struggles sometimes with Spanish makes me feel a little better. Though the flights are long and we have a layover, I'm not tired at all when we land in Oaxaca. In fact, I feel all tingly with excitement. It bubbles over when I see my Tia Maria. Maria is the sweetest of my relatives to talk to. She speaks so many languages, not to mention English, perfectly. She welcomes us with hugs and kisses. Bienvenidos! She looks at us and shakes her head. Que bonitos, but you all look too skinny. Let's go home, and I will feed you. Look, there they all are. See if I can see. Oh, there we go. There's Mom and Nick and Stella, and there's Tia Maria with the short hair and the scarf. Exiting the airport, I can feel the heat on my face. It's so much warmer here than in Chicago. I also don't hear a single word of English, outside of Maria and Mom. Some of the Spanish I can understand perfectly, but some of it doesn't make any sense. It's a little overwhelming. So I hold on to Mom's hand tighter. The streets are also littered with those bug Volkswagen cars. I immediately start tapping Nick with my free hand. Slug bug white, slug bug taxi. Interesting. We used to call it punch buggy, not slug bug. He looks a little annoyed. Kiddo, there are a bunch of them here. You're going to get tired of this game if you keep it up. I look out the window. I'll take a break then, and then I whisper softly, for now. And here we go. There's a picture of the Volkswagen. And that's it. So please, look in the description below. There's going to be questions down there and probably some links of some places that we can go look up. We can try to figure out how to pronounce that city. And I will see you all again on Monday. Have a great weekend. The weather's great today. Go outside and play. Be good to your parents.